Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Julio Martinez, and this is Set the Record Straight. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I'm introducing an additional third and final segment to the show called In the Trenches With. Now, In the Trenches With is going to be interview-based, and it's just going to be dedicated to guests I bring on to the show. I'm going to be asking them a few questions, a few hot topics, and so on and so forth. And our guest today needs absolutely no intro at all. There's no other person I'd rather have as the first guest on my show. He's the rightful king of New York. He's the father of Detroit. He's a USC professor. He's a baseball Hall of Fame voter. And best of all, where I love seeing him the most, he's a Fox Sports analyst on FS1. He's the host of The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard. And he shows up on Undisputed and The Herd with Colin Cowherd. So buckle up. Today's about to be a good one. It's the man, the myth, the legend. I'm going to be in the trenches with the one and only Rob Parker. Let's get right to it right after this intro video. Let's get to it. Exactly. So anyways, let's transition to a basketball discussion, specifically Carmelo Anthony. And, as we know, he seems to be comfortable in his new role with the Portland Trail Blazers. He seems to understand now that, he's not that star player anymore. And, he's obviously a role player. But I want to get into a discussion about your article that you wrote in Deadspin titled, the headline was Hollow Famer, like hollow numbers, not Hall of Famer. So tell us about that. Tell us.
I think he's going to make it into the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Yeah. And if you've never been there, you should take a trip there. It's worth the trip. I've been a couple times. He's going to make it because that Basketball Hall of Fame encompasses everything: your college career, Olympic career, NBA, so everything. So he's got the 3 gold medals. He was unbelievable at Syracuse that one year and won a championship, so I get all that. But if the NBA had a separate Hall of Fame, and I know he's piled up numbers, top 15 score, he's been around for a long time, but I just look at his career and it seems to be empty to me. Numbers, scoring is fine. When you talk about just scoring points, star players and players on bad teams are going to score points. Somebody has to score. Yeah. So that's not a measure of how great you are. Things didn't work out in Denver. The one year they got to the Western Conference Finals once Chauncey Billups joined the team from the Pistons. And in New York with the Knicks, one year they went to the second round, but nothing spectacular. Never won an MVP. Defensively, there's always been questions about Melo and how well he plays defense. So I'm not here to trash his career or say he was a bum. I'm just telling you, as a baseball Hall of Fame voter, and I take it very seriously, and I think if there's any debate about you, if we have to debate you, you're not a Hall of Famer. Yeah. When I say Michael Jordan to you, you're going to debate me? When I say Messi, you're going to debate me?
No.
If I say Kareem, you're going to debate me? No, but when I say Carmelo, there's a debate.
No.
That's what tells you he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. It should certainly be that exclusive, or at least to the point where it's like it's at the NFL or MLB level. And this whole is Pau Gasol a Hall of Famer? Is they elevate certain guys that really shouldn't be in that exclusive group in discussion. Yeah.
Even Tracy McGrady. Really?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Tracy McGrady's another guy I just don't even understand. I know for a number of years he was prolific, a scorer, whatever. Same thing. I think he got out of the first round one time in his entire career. And I'm not saying that you have to win a championship. Charles Barkley, I'll give you an example. There's 2 of them. Charles Barkley didn't win a championship, but he was an MVP. He took his team to the NBA Finals. Allen Iverson didn't win a championship. Took his team to the finals, won an MVP. Carmelo has neither one of those things.
Yeah,
that's what we talk about when we talk about greatness.
Yeah, and at least in Denver, Melo had some players. When AI was in Philly, he had no one.
Go look at that roster. The best thing other than him was Larry Brown, the coach, who wasn't
Yeah. So off of that, there's been so much discussion about the Blazers surge in the NBA bubble, getting to the A seed. They're at the A seed right now, currently. And Damian Lillard just went off for 60. and the Lakers have been struggling. There's been so much discussion. Even Colin, your coworker there at Fox, he picked the Blazers to beat the Lakers. And, this has been circulating. A lot of people are hopping on the bandwagon. So do you even give the Blazers a chance against the Lakers?
Sure, I give them a chance, but do I think they're going to win? No way, no how. Julio, I'm not buying it. The Blazers, people forget last year, it's the prisoner of the moment. They're playing well now. They have something to play for. Teams that are already, set up for the playoffs, they don't have the same energy. They're not playing for anything. So you got to be very careful. Once the playoffs start, it changes everything. And the equalizer is beating somebody 4 out of 7 times. Anybody could beat anybody 1 game or 2 games. Can you beat LeBron and AD 4 times? I'm not buying it. And if they do, it'll be a major blow to LeBron's legacy if they lose in the first round with Anthony Davis, playing for the Lakers, considering they won the Western Conference and the year that they had.
And I'm curious to see if the Blazers actually did beat the Lakers. Would it be more of a negative on LeBron, like he's out of his prime, or Anthony Davis?
No, it would be a negative on LeBron because he came to LA to win a championship and to have the best record in the Western Conference and to have gotten Anthony Davis to come along and then not win and then to get knocked out, like not even really fight for a championship. I think people would still come. They would fall on LeBron.
Yeah, definitely. So lastly, I need your NBA Finals picks. Who's coming out of the Western Conference, who's coming out of the East, and then who's being crowned champion for you at the end?
I have not changed from the beginning of the season. I picked the Clippers over the Milwaukee Bucks. I know a lot of people are off the Bucks bandwagon because of how they played under the bubble. I'm still with Giannis. I'm still with the Bucks in the East. I know everybody's talking about Toronto. And the Clippers are totally loaded. I know all the Laker fans don't want to hear it. They're 10 deep, have a Hall of Fame coach who won a championship. They play defense. They defend the three. What don't they do? And I just love that Kawhi brings that confidence of a guy who's won a championship in 2 other places. He's trying to do it in a 3rd, which is incredible. Paul George, here's his opportunity to win a championship, not have to be reliant on being the number 1 guy, but being a star in his own right. And then I love Patrick Beverley and just the makeup of that Clippers team. Remember what they did a year ago as an 8 seed. I think they were 8 seed, and they won 2 of the games from the Warriors in Oakland. And remember, to get knocked out in 6 games, KD had to score 53 to put them out of the playoffs. Yeah. That's how pesky they can be. So I love everything about the Clippers. I expect them to be champions.
And it's funny because I'm a Lakers fan myself, but the last
everybody in LA is a Lakers fan. I get it.
I know. So the last regular season game, like before the bubble, that the Lakers won against the Clippers, it took Avery Bradley to score damn near 30 points. It took Lou Williams to have a terrible game. It took Marcus Morris to have, put up a dud and score nothing. So all these guys struggle, plus Avery Bradley to score 30, and then we barely beat them by, I don't even know, it was like 2-3 points.
But that's always the thing, is you're right. And even when you look at it, when they're fully healthy, the Clippers, they have a record of something like 15-1.
Yeah.
They don't lose. They're really well-rounded, and they do a lot of things right. I think people are caught up in the old Clippers thinking that they can't win because it's the Clippers. They're going to win. The Cubs won after 100 years, right? They finally won a World Series. And even the expansion Tampa Bay Bucks wind up winning a Super Bowl. Teams wind up getting over the hump. And this team with the Clippers and Doc Rivers, I think they're going to get it.
And what doesn't get praised enough about the Clippers is Doc Rivers, Tyronn Lue, Sam Cassell, the whole coaching staff, plus Jerry West at the helm and Steve Ballmer. I mean, it's overwhelming for the Lakers. I think it's going to be. Yeah. But anyways, that'll about do it for us. Thank you for coming on the show, Rob. Such a pleasure to have you.
All right, Julio, and keep doing your thing, man. I appreciate it. And I'll come back again, all right?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.